Yes, sir, Shiloh. Yes, sir, Shiloh.
I'm gonna be the snack guy.
Very intelligent. He's very loud. You can hear him today making calls.
Ain't no ice, but it's something nice. Shiloh Sanders remains one of my more favorite stories in all of the drafts coming into this year. Obviously, he's had a little different path than his brother with, the high level of media coverage and things of that nature. Shiloh has kind of taken it upon himself to do his best to maximize really his name, to do the best he can. And what he's done is end up signing with the Buccaneers on an undrafted free agent contract. And obviously, right before we get into minicamp, the mandatory stuff, the real deal camp, right? We kind of have to lay out the framework because, again, there has been nothing but positive coming from Shiloh Sanders, right? You've got head coach Todd Bowles saying positive things. You got the defensive coordinators opening different doors, and we've gone over those things. But now I want to speak about how Shiloh Sanders is positioning himself just to be a great teammate for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it goes by doing something for his old teammates. So look, we're going to get right into it, man. I really appreciate y'all rocking with me and watching these videos. Leave a like if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy football content, and let's hop right into it. So Shiloh Sanders, now we are going to talk about what Todd Bowles said, but it is something that we covered, but it actually popped back up and people were talking about it again. So we're going to go back to that reference video. We're going to even go back to what's it called, Shiloh himself speaking on how the whole situation kind of went down as well. So before we get on into that, though, this is the thing that he continues to prove, and that he's an amazing teammate. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive back Shiloh Sanders blessed his former CU Bucs teammates with brand new Apple Watches. Now, I know it's not flooded out Audemars Piguet. It don't look like nothing that Shador be putting in the wrist, or putting in the air. But I do think it's a great
Apple Watch
gesture.
after workout.
You feel me?
Yes, sir, Shiloh. Yes, sir, Shiloh.
Oh,
Yeah. Yo.
sorry. Hopefully I silenced that out. I wasn't expecting them to be that excited. But hey, the boys are going, the boys are humming, the boys are excited, and I know you sometimes watch for Colorado videos. Those will be coming soon too. Obviously, as you see, they just doing workouts right now. So as soon as they back on the field, we're gonna be covering. As soon as I got news, as soon as some more transfer stuff comes at you, I'm there. Hadn't been nothing to talk about. So other than this, so they did get some new Apple Watches courtesy of Shiloh Sanders, right? And we talked about other videos, right, where where Shiloh has kind of made himself. Obviously we was talking about the snacks and really trying to commit to being a really good teammate, XYZ. And I think it helps when you don't take yourself too seriously, right? And I want to, yap a little bit and kind of speak on Shiloh Sanders providing energy, right? Because we had a recent conversation on this channel about Travis Hunter, and I think Travis Hunter has been getting some of the negative aspects, right? He's been, here he is, golfing while I'm yapping. I think he's been getting some of the negative aspects of like, oh my God, he's dancing too much, he's doing this too much, he's doing too much XYZ. I don't agree. I just think that people show energy in different ways, and I think that if your job is for 17 games to get smacked around or to smack grown people around, that's what you get paid for. I think it helps to be a little bubbly, right? I think it helps to have, as Pat McAfee would allude to, some fake energy to keep things going. And I think Shiloh Sanders does it in a way positively, right? Does it in a way that, hey, I don't even know, even if you're somebody calling, he sent that thing, okay? Even if you're somebody who says, is that Desmond Watson's big 405 ad? We're gonna actually listen to the clip. But like I was saying, I just love that, whether it's the snacks. I remember when we first watched him get off the. I mean, look, we can go right to it. We got all of these clips. Oh no, sorry, this is the one we're in right now. But yeah, he, whether it's him coming into the facilities, whether it's him as you see him Oklahoma drilling against drilling against mascots, whether he's shanking stuff on the goddamn green, whatever not, but bringing that energy, it can be done in different ways, right? And I think that Shiloh does it in a way that lends himself to, it means something for people that just want you around. I think there's a lot of value to that. There's a lot of value to saying, hey, look, I just need this dude in these spaces, in these places. And when head coach is already shouting you out, I think you're in a good spot. But let's hear this clip real quick. I honestly just want to hear if he shanked this thing or not. Hold up.
Here right now. Ask him what club I should use.
The driver. You start with the driver always.
The driver? Which one is the driver?
This one.
All right, man. I know you're good at golfing, bro.
This is my first time golfing. I never golf.
Strong ass nigga. They said you trash. I'ma lock in, fam. Chat, bro. Chill, fam. I never golfed before, bro. I'm just warning y'all right now. I used to play baseball, though.
Trying to reverse Happy Gilmore this, son. Oh. Okay. Yeah, no, that sounded
Not too bad, not too bad.
Hey, I'm no golfer. But I think he smacked that thing. But again, like I'm kind of alluding to, having that positive energy, not taking yourself too seriously, wanting to provide snacks, and also providing Apple Watches to your previous people. And again, at the end of the day, these are Sanders, okay? So even if they didn't get drafted, I think they're going to be okay, right? Bucky's doing okay. Shiloh seems to be doing okay, right? So I think this is just a dope little gesture to get the kids right? Get the young Bucs. Well, it ain't no ice, but it's something nice, right? It ain't no ice, but it's something nice. So let's talk about a few things. We're also going to talk about some of the lies that have been said about Shiloh Sanders and his contract. Before we get into any lies, I want to reiterate a point. And again, this is June 6th today. As I'm recording, it's June 9th. And this just kind of popped back up again. We talked about this, I think, weeks ago. But I do want to focus in on it because I don't know if y'all remember when we made the Rondé Barber video, and hey, we're only talking about this guy because he's his last name XYZ. Basically Rondé said I don't think the kid has a chance. I don't even think he has a chance. Well, you go from that to now the head coach. And not just a head coach. This is Todd Bowles, someone who's known for defense, right? This is a defensive-minded coach telling you, hey, Shiloh Sanders, his performance in OTAs has been more than just effort. More than just effort. I want to put a pin in that. He's smart, vocal, understands the game, and has been doing a good job from day one. Put a pin in that. Let's hear what what he initially said. Coach Bowles said, and this is kind of he's kind of speaking on what he needs to do to make the team. And then over here, this is actually Shiloh Sanders responding to Todd Bowles saying, hey, I'm a little loud out there.
Like the rest of the safeties, he's very intelligent. He's very loud. You can hear him today making calls and everything. So he got a good grasp of things day one. It was about 3 or 4 of them that did. He was one of them. But you got to make plays and pads, obviously. That's what it comes down to, knowing what to do and then doing it consistently and constantly getting better every day.
Simple, smooth, sweet. And what does Shiloh have to say about that?
I get really loud. But that's the number one thing you have to do as a safety is just be able to communicate and just be an extension of the defense coordinator on the field.
And if you don't mind, I'm finna yap. I want to talk about that, right? I want to talk about the reality that, with all the conversation of Nepo babyisms and yada, yada, yada around Shiloh Sanders, again, one of my favorite reasons that I can just come back and just keep covering Shiloh, and I think it's a really good story. I'm going to keep covering Shador, obviously, but this is, I think, where the meat and the potatoes are because, it's not going to look pretty for Shiloh. He's going to have to do everything right? I know we talk about how Shador has to do everything right. It's been like 2 OTAs and they're already saying he could be the guy right now. That could be hyperbolic. That could be this and that. But the narratives have quickly shifted. With Shiloh, the narratives are, hey, he's just a Sanders. He's just a whatever. He just is maybe a special teams guy. He just, didn't ever really deserve to get drafted. Those are some of the narratives on Shiloh's behalf that were kind of coming out. So going from that to immediately head coach saying, oh no, he's actually just extremely loud. He's standing out. He's doing that. Obviously he's standing out into the media. So I just think you just have to look at it all, not just as a blessing, but it really a result of the hard work. It's a result of us when we were covering Shiloh Sanders earlier, when he was bringing the 40-yard people out, when he was doing extra training work, when he was doing what he was doing at the Big 12. those things in that story that has kind of been built over these months, and him even just being an undrafted free agent, which we're going to talk about his contract here in just a second, and some interesting reporting. But yeah, it's interesting, and I think that, you know, whether he makes it, whether he makes the practice teams, I think that the fact that his journey is just going to look completely different. Not just completely different from Shador, but I think from a lot of people, and obviously him, what's it called? You know, how do you say it? You know, him being an undrafted free agent and kind of documenting things and stuff like that, I could think kind of change too. All right, so let's get into this little bit of a lie. After we do a little bit of lie, we got to put some respect on Shiloh Sanders' name. I love going back and kind of showing you guys that, hey, you know, he could actually ball. He did have the things that we needed. So Shiloh Sanders, obviously it was reported 3-year, $2 million, 2.96 rookie contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is pretty standard for undrafted free agents. Now, the Elon app says this is not correct. Shiloh Sanders signed a 1-year deal with the Bucs worth $840, a standard deal for undrafted free agent. Now, I've never heard that being a standard deal for undrafted free agents, but this is not really what I'm trying to point out. What I'm trying to point out is that, like, I think people, I want to point out, as much as I talk about lies on here, sometimes lies just come from laziness. Now, let me show you something. Now, we talked about that with the whole Mary Kay situation, right? Sometimes lies is just from laziness. And what I say by that is, if you go and look up, and this is what we did, we looked up, hey, how much money is he making? And these are both from Sports Yahoo. So this is May 11th. This is Yahoo Sports May 11th, and this is Yahoo Sports, I believe, February 9th. I forgot what the date was, but it was just a little bit after it. So in this Yahoo Sports article, it's just like bullet points. You can tell someone chat GPT'd this and say, hey, did Shiloh Sanders get drafted? And let Shiloh Sanders answer it and say, no, Shiloh Sanders signed an undrafted free agent contract. Meanwhile, he was undrafted. He was one of 15 undrafted free agents signed by the Bucs, a list that includes former defensive linemen XYZ. And then Shiloh Sanders signed a 1-year deal with the Bucs worth $840,000, a standard deal for undrafted rookies. He will get a chance to make the Bucs roster during the preseason across training camp and organize team activities. Now, that bottom part is correct, but that top part, it wasn't really reported anywhere. And I was confused. I don't know why he was doing that. By the way, Sports Track, and this is like probably one of the more trusted sources when it comes to online. If you talk about, you know, it's not salary caps, roster amounts, things like that, contract details. Typically, you go to Sports Track, they do a good job of that. Obviously Reddit has there for Buccaneers. A lot of people reporting 3 years, 2.96. That's what it was initially reported. And then Yahoo Sports reported it. The son of Coach Prime and older brother of Cleveland Browns quarterback Shilo Sanders officially signed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after going undrafted. Shiloh agreed to a 3-year deal worth $2.96 million, according to Sports Track. So that's confusing, and we actually went deeper into this. Undrafted free agent contracts are pretty. You can choose obviously who you go to. You have a little more flexibility. You get one less year than a typical drafted contract. At the 4, it's 3 years. So I don't know where they're getting the $840 a year. Maybe that's is that the 3 years divided? I have no idea, but I think that's just what happens when ChatGPT is doing a little too much work. You get these weird reporting. So hey, they're gonna lie, but sometimes lying's always not that bad. Now, as we close out this situation, I want to take our time because again, Rondé Barber, random commenters, XYZ, LMNOP, everybody who says that he has a Sanders name. As much as I talk about how captivating he is, that he is a Sanders, is probably what was drawing you and, hey, what's drawing me to wanting to cover him and shed the light on him. I want to put in perspective, and y'all be trying to do this with Shador too. I saw y'all in the comments trying to do that with Shador. Shador and Shiloh, these boys had offers. Shiloh was at the University of South Carolina, son. He was an SEC defensive back. Offered from Georgia, offered from Oregon, offered from Tennessee. That's 3 SEC and a Big Ten offer right there, son. So when we talk about, oh, well, he's just this, he's just that. No, he's just a SEC defensive back, right? That sacrificed a lot for his brother and for his dad, right? You get somebody at Jackson State and Colorado at a position where you don't have to worry about. Now, maybe the last year at Colorado, I mean, someone could argue that the defense looked better with him not there, but he did battle with injury. You know, it's a whole situation. He did have to stay an extra 2 years after he had already graduated, and, you know, the whole situation. So I think that sacrifice has to be put into perspective. And then on top of that, the fact that he was no bum, right? He was just no bum. Obviously, he wasn't looked at it as, you know, any top rank or anything like that. But you can kind of see how things move. Seemingly undrafted free agent for most of the time. But again, like this is somebody who went to places, did big things. You know what I'm saying? Had some years, could get the ball out. I want y'all to know that. Can rip the dang ball out. Leading up into the draft, turnover wins games. Somebody's getting a dog this week. That's what Shilo said. Top 5 safeties in the 2025 NFL draft, specifically ranked by total turnovers career. So that's interceptions plus forced fumble plus fumble recovery. You got number 1, Ryu Lane. Number 2, Xavier Watts, one of the top safeties in this draft. Billy Bowman, another guy who was, I think, a day 3, day 4 guy. Number 4, Shiloh Sanders. And then look right underneath, the shark himself, Cameron. Yo, man, look, we can say what we want about Shiloh. Let's just not let the disrespect get to the point that we don't look at the truth of what it is. I think he is more than equipped to be able to make this Buccaneers team. And it's not just about, like, it's not simply just about, oh, football XYZ. It's about what he's clearly shown that he's willing to do as a teammate, as a team member. Whether, you know, the snacks, that's jokes, but you know, there's some seriousness there. There's seriousness about being an undrafted free agent, but saying you're loud and you're already speaking it like that's an impact. Now, if it only ends up with him being on the practice squad or just being on the special teams, hey, I'm so sorry, Shiloh. I guess you're just an NFL player. Like, I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be all right. And I think he's going to be a great benefit to this team. Obviously, you know, Antoine Winfield Jr. has kind of taken him under his wing. That's another great positive. You already have a core part of the defense who looks at you as an ally, as a guy, as someone who can really go. And he spoke about him being, you know, smart, confident, and those different things. So obviously in previous videos, y'all go check those out. I just really wanted to highlight, you know, the way that Shiloh Sanders has separated himself as a teammate, as someone who wants to add value to the locker room in a lot of different ways. And I think it's going to be dope to kind of watch this particular journey as it comes to the camp and everything. Y'all be on the lookout. This week we do have, I know the Browns mandatory camps or mandatory OTAs start tomorrow. So that means another wave of OTAs and mandatory camps are going to be starting. So we're going to be updating you. Y'all let me know, of course, if there's any team you want to see in particular. I know I got some JJ McCarthy asks, so we'll get to that. I know I just did my Texans, you know what I'm saying? I just did the Patriots as well. So if there's anything NFL you want to see, if there's anything college football you want to see, holler at me. We'll get that knocked out. All-season stuff, plenty of time, man. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes and sizes, man. Appreciate you rocking with it. We'll see you next time, peace.